Army court martials 17 soldiers for alleged gun running. Suspected meningitis outbreak kills 20 students in Yobe State. Vandals destroy Gwagwalda Katampe transmission line. On the foreign scene, 31 die as bus plunges off bridge in Mali. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. And on the news in full, 16 soldiers and 1 officer are currently facing court-martial in Plateau State. The personnel facing the trial were accused of various offences ranging from armed robbery, murder, unlawful possession of arms and ammunition, and selling same contrary to their operational mandate within the 3rd Armoured Division. The inaugural sitting of the court-martial, it was learnt, took place at the 3rd Armoured Division, Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Nigerian Army in Basa local government area on Tuesday. The acting deputy director of legal services, 3rd Division Nigerian Army, Major Aminu Mansur Meirua, who spoke after the inauguration of the General Court-Martial, noted that the Nigerian military was an institution that believed in discipline and would continue to ensure the full application of its internal disciplinary mechanism. He said the accused personnel were brought before the court-martial to follow the necessary procedures, premised on respect for the rule of law and ensuring that there was compliance with the principle of natural justice and the extant rules and procedures. Just days after Governor Rada provided an interview regarding the strides made in combating banditry in Katsina State, a tragic incident unfolded in Wurma village, situated in the Kurfi local government area. During this appalling attack, a primary healthcare facility was razed to the ground, along with a mobile police outpost and their patrol vehicle. Additionally, more than 10 houses were obliterated, including food storage units. Adding to the gravity of the situation, over a dozen women and children fell victim to abduction by the bandits. Jamil Mabai, who visited Wurma in the early hours of Tuesday, sent in this report.
Close to the vibrant city of Katsina, the community of Wurma now lies in ruins. It once lively streets silenced by the brutality of banditry. Under the cover of darkness, flames engulf their homes and livelihoods, stripping away not just buildings, but also their sense of safety and stability.
We couldn't remove our furniture. I ran away through the fence and hid in the forest. I watched as they set my house ablaze. I don't have anywhere to stay and I don't have money to rent a house. I don't have money to buy food for my family. The food is not even available to buy. They burnt all the items I bought for my daughter's wedding.
Mikailu stands as a solitary figure, bearing the burden of unspeakable pain. His family, the cornerstone of his existence, torn from him by the merciless hands of the bandits amidst the chaos.
My wife was about to cook dinner when they came and took my children without eating anything. They took 7 people in this room.
The agony etched into his features reflects the profound sorrow shared by an entire shattered community. For 2 organizing hours, the outnumbered security personnel fought to protect their community. The wounds inflicted by this attack cut deep. Within days, the nearby village of Lambu was plunged into a similar nightmare, with 8 precious lives lost and nothing but smoldering remnants left behind as a haunting testament to their vulnerability. While the government proclaims success in a battle against unseen foe, for the residents of Katsina, the struggle for safety persists. Jamil Mubay, Trust TV, Katsina.
On Wednesday, February 28, the transmission company of Nigeria reported that vandals had caused significant damage to Tower 70 along its 330 kV Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line. Ndidi Mba, the general manager, issued a statement confirming the incident, stating that it occurred at 11:32 p.m. on February 26. According to the statement, the transmission company of Nigeria hereby states that Tower 70 along its 330 kV Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line has been vandalized, with the tower standing precariously on the ground. This event transpired on February 26, 2024 at approximately 11:32 p.m. Following the incident, the Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line experienced a trip at the Gwagwalda transmission substation. Despite efforts by TCN operators to restore functionality through trial reclosure, the attempts were unsuccessful, necessitating a physical patrol of the line. President Bola Tinubu has launched the expatriate employment levy to facilitate homegrown expertise and balance employment opportunities between Nigerians and expatriates. The objective of the program is to close wage gaps between expatriates and the Nigerian labor force while increasing employment opportunities for qualified Nigerians in foreign companies operating in the country. Kainde Amodu has details of the story.
Despite protests on rising living costs going on just outside the three-armed zones of government, there is no sign of unease in the mien of the president. He is assuring Nigerians that there is imminent light at the end of the tunnel as the country is gradually turning the corner.
We might be going through difficult periods. Now, we are glad that good effort is being made to retool, re-engineer the finances of the country, and make growth our hallmark.
President Tinubu is anticipating improved revenue generation, improved naturalization and indigenization, and the employment of more qualified Nigerians by foreign companies operating in the country. But he is warning that the scheme should not be used as an impediment, nor as a cudgel wielded to discourage foreign investors.
There must be a clear line of implementation and effective acceleration of aims and objectives of this program. Immigration matters and expatriate quotas and relevant stakeholders are to be effectively guided.
Minister of the Interior Bumi Tunji explains that the essence of the scheme is to ensure that any expatriate brought in to work in Nigeria should possess the expertise that no Nigerian has.
It's important I say this, that part of the motivation is to reduce the dependence of companies on foreign personnel. And of course, to also reduce the rate at which renewal for expatriate quota is being sought after by companies. If this is well implemented, of which we can assure Your Excellency, it will be duly implemented. We want to see a scenario whereby once an expatriate comes, there should be a knowledge transition period of which Nigerians should be trained to be able to take over this responsibility and create opportunities for our teeming youth.
The project will be operated on a public-private partnership model between the federal government of Nigeria, the Nigeria Immigration Service, which is the implementing agency, and a technical partner, EEL Projects Limited. From State House, Abuja, Kainde Amudu, Trust TV News.
And on to the National Assembly. The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Hydrological Services and Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, Pascal Agbodike, has flagged the committee's commitment to the development of the commission's host communities. Agbodike, who represents Ihiala Federal Constituency of Anambra State, made the pledge when the managing director of Hyperdeck, Abubakar Sadiq Yewa, appeared before the committee on Tuesday. He said just like host communities of the Niger Delta Development Commission were getting some benefits, Hyperdeck communities should get the same treatment. Agbodike promised that the committee would help address the funding challenge facing the agency. Earlier, the managing director of Hyperdeck, Abubakar Sadiq Yewa, said they were facing several challenges, including funding, which hampered the commission from carrying out its mandate.
Since the inauguration of this house, we took time to listen to host communities, the 10 states that members of Hyperdeck. Most of our members have toured around those states and reported back to this honorable committee about what the works that are going on from Hyperdeck in those states. Going by the law that established Hyperdeck, there are many things the agency should be doing to see to the welfare of those communities in the member states.
If you see the number of homes, if you see the number of farmlands we lose along River Benue, from Taraba down to Benue, down to Nasarawa State, you will pity with the communities. This also is same situation with the River Niger. This is some situation with River Kaduna, Mr. Chairman, and any other community that is going to be hydro. Now, if we say those communities, they are even suffering more because of the cost challenge of those communities, Mr. Chairman. So these are some of the issues we want your committee to address. We are not saying it should come to Hyperdeck. We have enough to handle if we have enough resources to do that. But what is most important is, please look at those communities. They are now relying on whatever these companies decide to give them. Whereas you in this Harlot chamber decided to make excellent provision for them. But alas, the recent amendment to this same new Electricity Act has now thwarted that ambition you have for those communities.
Despite the widespread rhetoric surrounding the enhancement of rights, protection, and justice for women, children, and persons with disabilities, the reality paints a different picture. The absence of supportive structures undermine the purported goal of safeguarding the rights of vulnerable populations. Despite the ongoing narrative, there remains a glaring lack of interventions aimed at improving access to justice for these marginalized groups across the various states of the Federation. In this report, Newell Sampson engages with a civil society member and a person living with a disability to discuss the necessary steps that the government should take.
In 2022, Nigeria's female population reached approximately 109 million, with nearly 31 million children under the age of 5. Additionally, each year witnessed the birth of at least 7 million babies. As of 2020, there are reportedly over 27 million Nigerians living with some form of disability, highlighting their significant presence within the country's total population. Given these figures, the pressing question arises: are there adequate structures in place to bolster the capacity of justice and social support agencies across the states? This raises numerous other questions and demands from these groups, underscoring the urgent need for effective and inclusive policies to address their rights and needs.
Some of the key challenges that women, children, and persons with disabilities in Nigeria face when they want to access the justice system, whether it's our police, whether it's our courts, whether it's the legal aid council, or whether it's women that have been sexually assaulted, or whether it's persons with disabilities that have challenges in terms of accessing justice. So the first thing is to draw their attention to some of the challenges they face, and then the second one is also to present to them some of the opportunities that are available for them to make access to justice more accessible.
We are calling for an immediate establishment of the Commission for Persons with Disabilities that will be working in complementary, that will be working in support with the Ministry for Women Affairs, to lessen the burden of the Ministry for Women Affairs and to also shed more light and spotlight issues of persons with disabilities.
Diverse reactions have emerged regarding the government's purported failure to establish structures aimed at advocating for social justice of marginalized individuals. However, government officials have countered these claims, asserting a different perspective.
Before now, women were the vulnerable ones, as you can know. But now, the measures we are putting up, no more business as usual, not from police, not from army, not from individuals, not from husbands, not from stepfathers, as you know, so many things that are going on. So we are putting up a measure that we are bringing in integrity brigade, of which all the commissioners are part of it, all the traditional rulers are part of it. These are some of the ways we want Niger to save Nigeria.
Anytime we have such problems, we first of all will write to the PG and will write to the Igwe of that town. And then, knowing the type of governor we have in Anambra State, will definitely support us. We've never been disappointed.
Women, children, and persons living with disabilities express hope that immediate measures will be taken to ensure social justice for their communities. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
This is a news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. We'll take a look at how age-old tradition continues to support numerous families, serving as a crucial means of livelihood. We'll bring you insights and details of this story and more after the break. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. But if you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. Army court martials 17 soldiers for alleged gun running. Suspected meningitis outbreak kills 20 students in Yobe State. And now moving on to more stories. Yobe State is currently grappling with a suspected meningitis outbreak as several boarding public schools have been affected, resulting in the tragic loss of at least 20 students in Potiskum, Fika, and Fune local government areas. The outbreak initially struck Government Science Technical College, Government Girls Science Technical College, and Federal Government Girls College, all situated in Potiskum local government area. Speaking to Daily Trust, a local source says the disease claimed the lives of 20 students across the 3 affected public schools in Potiskum local government area. The afflicted students have been admitted to the specialist hospital in Potiskum, where they are currently undergoing treatment and showing signs of recovery. Confirming the outbreak, Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Mohammed Sani Idris, disclosed that Governor May Mala Buni has ordered the State Ministry of Education to relocate temporarily to Potiskum in response to the crisis. The Commissioner further stated that while the situation is dire, several students admitted to Potiskum Specialist Hospital are exhibiting positive responses to treatment. In our fast-evolving world, many traditional practices are getting overshadowed, replaced, or extinct. But amidst the hustle and bustle of progress, one ancient craft stands strong: palm leaf touching. In Nigeria, particularly in the Okegun community of Odofin, situated in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State. This age-old tradition continues to support numerous families, serving as a crucial means of livelihood. Victoria Tokolo shed light into this enduring tradition, conversing with locals who depend on palm thatching to make ends meet for themselves and their families.
Thatching, an effective roofing method utilizing palm branches, has endured through generations. Its simple yet effective technique involves laying vegetation to redirect water away from roof's interior. Surprisingly, in today's modern era, people still rely on the versatility of palm branches for their livelihood, notably in local establishments and bars. In Nigeria, particularly in Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State, individuals practice the craft of palm thatching to support themselves and their families financially, highlighting the enduring relevance of these traditional skills.
We get this thing from palm tree or inside bush. So we sold one 300 naira.
Make up with taxes and when we have no business. So this is all the job that we have. And we are doing to meet up life everything. And people came to buy some of them. Sometimes we have customers, some of the time we have no customers. And we sold a dozen 2,000 naira.
We dey use am to do this business. We use am, we dey do am for this taxes. We dey sell am. We go cut am for this. So they do am to sell am. People dey come buy am 300 naira for per one. We sell am.
Palm tree thatching has become a common sight in the bars of Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State. Beyond its role as a traditional roofing material, it serves as a vital source of employment and income, especially given the current economic conditions in Nigeria. In a time where job opportunities are scarce, the use of palm tree thatch underscores the resilience and adaptability of local communities, providing individuals with a means to support themselves amidst economic challenges.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has said the sales of its direct entry forms and registration will start Wednesday nationwide and in selected foreign centers. A statement on Tuesday in Abuja by its public communications advisor, Fabian Benjamin, said the registration process would close on Thursday, March 28. Benjamin said the sale of the direct entry forms was open to foreign candidates wishing to have tertiary education in Nigeria through the direct entry mode. The JAMB spokesperson assured the public that the board would continue to ensure a level playing field for all candidates, irrespective of status. He warned that the board would not process candidates' application from all awarding institutions that have refused to honor several requests of their A-level certificates presented by some candidates for last year's admission. Away from Nigeria, 31 people were killed in Mali on Tuesday and 10 others wounded when a bus traveling toward Burkina Faso fell off a bridge in the country's southeast, the Transport Ministry said. It added that the accident occurred at around 5 p.m. at a bridge crossing the Bago River. According to the ministry, a bus that was leaving Kenyeba commune from Burkina Faso tripped off a bridge. The likely cause is the driver losing control of the vehicle. Automobile accidents are frequent in Mali, where many roads and highways as well as vehicles are in poor condition. Earlier this month, 15 people were killed and 46 injured when a bus heading toward the capital, Bamako, collided with a truck in central Mali. Still on the foreign scene, President Macky Sall's initiative to convene a dialogue in Dakar has culminated in significant developments for Senegal's political landscape. The conclusion of the dialogue on Tuesday revealed two crucial outcomes that are set to shape the nation's electoral future. The first focal point of discussion revolved around the electoral process. Participants deliberated on the status of candidates, particularly distinguishing between those whose candidacies were upheld by the Constitutional Council and those deemed as spoiled candidates. The second major deliberation centered on determining the election date. After careful consideration and dialogue, consensus emerged around setting June 2nd as the date for the presidential election. President Sall, emphasizing the importance of concluding the electoral process before the onset of the rainy season in June, had set the stage for this decision at the beginning of the dialogue. With the dialogue now concluded, all attention turns to President Sall for the final validation of the decisions reached during the discussions. The nation eagerly awaits his response to the proposals put forth by participants. The outcome of this pivotal dialogue is anticipated to pave the way for a transparent and inclusive electoral process, reinforcing Senegal's commitment to democratic principles. That concludes the news update at this hour. Remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.